Welcome to Bad Bible Movies with Mezzo and Joel. That's right, this is BBMs, and we are talking about a movie called The Story of Christmas. It's picked by Mezzo for some ungodly reason.
I liked it.
This is so weird because, I know they're supposed to be bad Bible movies, but I didn't know they were supposed to be this bad.
I thought that the part where the guy had the, there was like a lamp, a sexy lamp with a sexy leg. And then there was like the kid wore a bunny suit. I thought it was all really.
You watched the wrong movie. This was
the Christmas Story.
No, this was the Christmas Story. This was a cartoon from 1996/1994. Depends on where you look.
This is gonna be weird.
It's made.
Did Jesus get his tongue stuck to a pole at some point?
No, you watched a good movie. This sucks because you actually watched a really good movie. And I watched a movie that was originally titled La Histoire de Noël, which is a French movie.
Yes.
I'm going to read the official synopsis and then I wrote a synopsis. And you can tell me which synopsis you think is more accurate. The official synopsis is, one starry night, the baby Jesus is brought into the world and a bright light signals that the new Savior is born. As everyone rejoices, King Herod becomes jealous and threatens the Christ child. But a courageous and unlikely pair, an ox and donkey living in a stable where Jesus is born, spring into action to foil his evil plan. As the ox recruits other barnyard animals to help slow down the king's soldiers, the donkey guides the baby Jesus, Joseph, and Mary to safety. Is that really what the movie is?
Kinda. The donkey was the main character. I thought it was going to be Mary or Jesus, in that area, but it was mostly the donkey. Yeah.
I put down, this is the story of an old ass named Bag of Bones, with a sense of humor about as compelling as the animation in this film. Him and his bull counterpart, Fathead, get into Jesus' birth-related hijinks. It tells some parts of the story of Jesus, relying heavily on the viewer's biases to find this interesting, and then adds a bunch of useless stuff no one cares about, all through the lens of flaccid animal characters.
I like the flaccid part. Did donkey have a name? You said Old Bone. That's just what they call it, right?
Yeah, they did not have names, but it was Bag of Bones.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to look that up, and I was like, what was this donkey's name? The main character doesn't have a name.
No, it's just Donkey.
I learned that it said early on in the movie that it's based on a book by Alan Royer. And I'm sorry, it's French, so it's probably Alain Royer.
Alain Royer.
Alain Royer.
How is this based on a book?
That's what I was like. A book by him, the Jesus story? His name was a French guy wrote the Bible? That doesn't seem... Did they find who wrote Luke?
You know what? I have a lot to say about Royer in my critique of this film because it is so shittily written. Why keep in the Herod stuff? The only Bible story in this is Herod, by the way.
It was crazy. It was. I was like, they're gonna leave that part out, right? Because it's a kid's story, and they got to it pretty quick.
That's the main point of this story. But I want to talk about the sense of humor, the jokes in this. Can Christians not write jokes? I have a clip of the first joke in the film.
See, I was going to say, I thought the donkey was really funny. I thought that the voice...
You're joking.
No. I think the voice of the donkey was, comical. Was it Eddie Murphy?
You watched Shrek. He watched Shrek. The guy watched Shrek again.
I watched 2 wrong movies.
This is the quality of the, just on-point humor of this movie.
And of course the road's absolutely full of potholes, but I managed to find a way around them. What do you say to that?
Okay, so the road's full of holes.
Are you making fun of me?
Not for a second.
So that's a joke.
So the road is full of holes.
Are you making fun of me? Where's the joke there? How could somebody be making fun of someone?
There's no comedy to this entire thing, which is would be fine, but they pitch it as like this kind of comical kids. Like the trailer's like, wah, wah, this donkey can't figure out how to save the Christ.
You can't even write one setup punchline. Like, you know what I mean? I don't get it.
What would okay? Well, let's punch it up real quick. So they're walking on a holy road, and oh, maybe that's it.
That's it.
Maybe that's what they do.
That's fun. See, like that's funny. So you're saying the road was holy? Hey, wait a second. Not in the biblical sense. Like it's just something.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, like and you accidentally said it.
But I will say this, and I don't know if you might disagree with this, and this isn't another Shrek joke. I did kind of think that the voice acting was good. I liked the voices. I thought that the people who did them were kind of like, they were unique sounding. I know that it was probably originally in French and these were like the American redubbed things, but it had a similar, like if you just listen to it, because the animation is so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's really, really crappy looking. Mm-hmm. When I walked away and it was just kind of like old people talking and stuff, it sounded more like a Studio Ghibli type of film. Like the voice was, I thought, were really nice. You know, like
maybe
Spirited Away and stuff.
Maybe because of those movies are also dubbed, and so there's something where you have to fit the voice to the animation that kind of forces you to say things at a certain pace, which is unnatural, I think.
And the quietness in between for a kids movie, bad. But for me, I like that. I kind of actually like genuinely enjoy like a slow, quiet movie. I am boring. So like if this wasn't called The Christmas Story and it wasn't about the Bible and it was like, I didn't know this myth from the Bible story, but it was just like, oh, Studio Ghibli has a new movie out. It's called The Child. And there's like a weird glowing angel that talks every now and then. I'd be like, this is really interesting. It's so weird. It would seem like so bizarre. But because I know they're just getting the Bible wrong, it sucks again, you know?
Yeah, I think that like the donkey, old man donkey, the guy that did that voice wasn't bad. I'll agree with you on that.
All the donkeys were great.
I think that the kid donkey, I have a clip of the kid donkey when we are introduced to him. And my problem isn't with that kid's acting. I think he did a good job. But I think that the
script is bad.
The script is bad.
Yeah,
what he has to say is just like, he's kind of telling his story, but he says these horrible things that have occurred in his life as if they're nothing.
What's the big hurry? Where are you going so fast? That's some load you've got there. Who's that lady you're carrying? And she's got a baby with her as well. What's he called? Me, I'm getting away from my master. My parents are dead. He wanted to put me to work, but no way. I'm too young to work, don't you think? Do you like the Romans? Why don't you answer me?
Because if you ask me, you don't know when to hold your tongue.
My parents are dead. Do you like the Romans? Why won't you answer?
You don't shut up.
You're like, no, I'm so sorry your parents died. Like, there's no humanity. I mean, I know they're donkeys.
Little donkey. Whoa. Do you need to talk, my friend?
It's written not just that it's Bible. Like, the Bible part of it is, like, not the worst part. It's Christian. Like, that's the part that bothers me. And there's a difference. The Bible story and, like, the like, what happens in the actual Bible, you could make that into something weird and interesting, whatever. But this is so Christian in the sense that, like, well, look, we can say horrific things. Like, this is a children's thing that we're just doing tons of like killing of babies.
Aww.
And it's cool. Like everything's fine.
They got away from the king.
They show him kill the other ones.
There's a little baby with male pattern baldness. I don't know if you saw that.
Open in Herod's name! Open in the name of the king!
Who is killed by these soldiers. Like, it's just this old man baby. Like,
this is one of the lighter stories in the book.
talk about bad voice acting. I know that like these people are having a conversation, and listen to the lilt at the end of this clip.
These are like the enslaved people who are talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to this lilt.
What's all this about a massacre in Judea? Hundreds of children were put to death. Huh? And all for nothing.
And all for nothing. You could almost hear a smile.
Like they were thinking, like, okay, that's normal. What and then they're like nothing. Oh, now it's bad.
Now
there was going to
bad.
be a reason. Yeah, I'm blown away. I had to rewind it 6 times to make sure. What? How did she have this baby? How was that not?
Yes.
There was no moment of this.
Yes.
So they walk in. They're trying to find a place. All the inns are busy. There's a census. They mentioned it before.
And already we have the donkey and the ox story. That's like that's where we start, right?
Yeah, they're meeting each other.
I'm thinking the donkey is going to deliver the baby. Like that. I think that's where we're going. You know what I mean? I'm like, where's this story?
But they don't mention that she's pregnant. They don't show that she's pregnant. There's just not really any word of it. And then the next morning, it like cuts to an exterior shot, and you just hear a little crying, and they're like, "Well, here's our baby," and everyone, and I'm just like, I had to rewind it because I was like, "Did I miss the whole birthing scene?" Like, I didn't expect there to be like a birthing scene, but at least mention like something.
The baby's coming soon. You know,
Nothing.
something, and it's going to be the Son of God, etc. Jesus was born quick. Like that just like happens. And then they're sitting there, and Mary says, and this is like just weird, stupid dialogue, "What should we call him?" And Joseph says, Jesus.
First of all, I did notice that in the Bible, it wasn't that big a deal, and she had a baby. Like they don't get into it in the Bible that much either. So that part actually did kind of match that they were like, and there's a baby. And then in one of the stories, Joseph names Jesus, or hears from an angel to name the baby Jesus, and one of them Mary hears to call the baby Jesus.
Right. And I looked that up too, because I was like, who was told what to name this baby? And I noticed both of them were. Maybe she forgot, or
there was something visited me.
what were we supposed to call him again?
Was it an angel, or
Maybe she's like, you know what? If he's still upset that I fucked God. So maybe if I
that I fucked God.
maybe if I go, "Hey babe, do you want to name him? What do you give him some agency in this? What did you want to name the baby?"
And then when he says Jesus, she's like, "Oh, he's been talking to God. Oh, God."
He talked to God. He knows.
Okay, so the real story from the Bible, the nativity.
Okay, let's do this real quick.
How do you say?
You'll edit it out. I say
Nativity?
nativity, and Mezzo says nativity wrong.
Like I say it like a horse.
So nativity. I say it like a horse too, but I say nativity. Now, if
So this is in Luke, like Luke chapter 1. Mary walks in and says, "Hey," and then the child in Elizabeth's womb kicks. It says the baby kicks. Mm-hmm. And without any other words, Elizabeth goes, "Oh my God, you're going to have the child of the God." She just knows all this already. And Mary's like, "I didn't tell you any of that. I didn't mention that." She just felt the baby kick. It was like, baby kicked right when you walked in. You're going to have God's baby.
that story is reflected in this movie, because there's that moment. I'll play the clip. There's the moment where we learn that it's the Son of God. By the way, we haven't learned that at all throughout this whole movie.
Oh, when they do the flashback?
That it was that, but this guy guesses it. The Jewish guy. Remember? I'll play the clip.
Okay, no, I don't remember that.
It goes like this.
"And every day the two of you and your wife, you hide. And more than anything, you hide your child as though he were
The Son of God.
How can you be so sure?"
The guy doesn't go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
He's like, "Yeah, that's what I was about to say."
Bizarre. But in the Bible, does Herod know it's the Son of God? Like the wise men come and they go, we need to see this baby. The baby's special.
There's a lot of words like king that are thrown around throughout the movie, throughout the actual text, and throughout like pop culture. What a king is a little more abstract than you would think it would be.
I think they do that in the movie. I wish I brought clips of that. Spiritual sense or something? Like, do they...
I'll do it. I'll do the donkey voice.
Oh, you think that old spiritual king won't be a king someday?
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar. Maybe they didn't. But anyway, it might have been somebody to talk to.
Because the voice was perfect.
The voice was on point. That's how I know that I don't recognize those
The
words.
lines. There was a weird Bible verse that Mary said where she says he has. She's like doing the song of praise. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. I don't know what that means at all.
Scattered the imagination. Scattered the what?
Scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. I have no, like, I can't, I read it 8 times. I have no idea if anyone can.
It's amazing.
All right, I'm sorry. Let me get back to the movie. It was something that I noticed and read, and I wanted to like just complain about the Bible with you for a little bit because it's fun to do.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the movie. I wrote down that the angel reminded me of Golden Sonic. If you ever saw when Sonic turned supersonic golden, he looked like that. That was pretty cool.
On my screen, just it wasn't seeing any of the features. Just like a
really?
a gold, just a white.
It was
Just
pretty
a beam of
blurry,
white.
but he had like a kind of a chin and like a 70s haircut, like a kind of you know what he looked like? He looked like the cult leader from the last movie we watched. From Thief in the Night.
Yeah, the angel is based on Thief in the Night.
And a shocked world will discover suddenly that what the Bible said was true.
But they try to protect this baby at all costs. The shepherds come, the wise men come, of course, and tipping off Herod. And this donkey, it's really the donkey's story. He's an old donkey who's completely useless. He's super weak, except that he can rip ropes apart. He can kick doors down. He can kick Roman soldiers. He's the weakest donkey that's a superhero you've ever seen.
That's a good point. I didn't notice that at all. Like I just saw him doing all these things, and I'm like, "Go donkey!" Like I'm screaming, I'm like, "Go donkey, go!" But like the whole movie is about how pathetic and worthless he is.
But he has to protect Jesus, and so ultimately, of course, it's the story of Herod wanting to kill the baby Jesus, and the donkey tries to warn Jesus, but of course he doesn't speak human, so an angel has to come and do it. And the donkey is allowed to go with them. So that's what the journey is.
Wait, the donkey translates the angel? The angel spoke donkey?
The donkey's like, remember the donkey's like, I gotta warn them. And so he goes.
That's good. That was actually like exactly it.
I heard they want him killed.
What?
They're going to kill him.
Those are the orders.
There's no time to lose. I must warn them.
I actually can do a voice. So he runs.
Was really good.
That was accidental. He runs to warn them, but the angel's already there. He escapes the silo.
Yeah, because he overhears. So he overhears like the guards saying, "Oh, we're gonna go kill all the babies."
Yeah, we gotta get all the little babies.
The whole thing of Herod and the 3 wise men, or the Magi, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to know about how you learned this growing up, because I realize now I thought there were 3 Magi and 3 wise men, and I'm just realizing that that's the same thing.
Oh no, I always thought of it as like the we 3 kings are.
They're not kings. So that's the thing I was saying that is confusing about the kings, because that's just from that song.
What?
I was looking that up because I was like, who are the kings, who are the wise men, and who are the Magi? It's all the same person. There's 3 of them, but also, so that the we 3 kings, that's just from the song. They just made that up. They're not kings. It just sounded better than we 3 Magi, right? It just sounded better. It does say in the Bible they came from the east. It doesn't say It doesn't say there's 3. That's not biblical. That there's 3 of them. I looked for it and stuff. That's not in there.
Wild, because
it's just someone made it up once, and we were like, okay.
And the 3 names, Belshazzar, Gaspar, and Belshazzar, or whatever. I don't know.
I don't think that's in there at all.
None of this is biblical, but we all.
It just says, and then kings from the east came and visited Herod. And so they say in the Bible, it's something like they go to Herod and say, "We followed this star here." I do like that they are doing astrology type of stuff. Like, I'm not into astrology now, but the fact that like in ancient times they would like see a comet and be like, "What do we do with this?" what happens now, and like they have to figure it out, is really, it's just a cool thing of history. Chinese astronomers did a really good job of keeping track of visible comets and other things like nova and stuff like that were happening, eclipses, all these like planetary motions. They were tracking all this, and so they have like a whole bunch of comets that go way further back than any other what people were recording in the Middle East. But the idea of a comet like bringing about a new king this isn't the only time that happened. That was like a thing. Like it was written about other times where like when a comet comes, it's like this signals the birth of a new king. Other comets signified births of other kings. It looks like there was a comet around 5 BC that maybe they saw and people followed and thought there was a new king, and then there just wasn't. But then the story started to grow, right? Of like, oh, this was a time where people were following this comet looking for a new king, because it would have had an extra long tail, which the Chinese word for comet is about a broom. It's like a broom, as in it's sweeping away the old king and bringing in the new. And so like the longer the tail, the bigger the sweep that it was doing. So it could have been a big-tailed comet in that year that was doing this, which is like just cool history stuff. None of this was in the movie. The movie sucked, but there's just like cool ancient astronomy stuff.
I think that like it seems like if you're writing a story, even if there wasn't a comet that year that this was supposed to happen or whatever, you know what I mean? I know you did a deep dive there, but it could have just been like, this would have been a cool way that people would have, you know, come to. So even if it like, it's nice to like, it's fun to find, ooh, what if it was this one? You know what I mean? But it's probably more like, those things happened, and so they wrote that into the story, but, you know.
And that time period, that like from 0 to -12, there was a lot of shit happening in the night sky. Conjunctions and planetary alignments and eclipses happening. It happens like that every now and then. Like stuff kind of is boring for a while, and astronomers go find other hobbies. And then it's like, oh, for the next 3 years, like there's a lot of stuff happening, and everyone gets their telescopes out of the garage and builds it. Like that happened pretty recently with all these eclipses that were happening here, you know?
Mm-hmm. So the Magi come and they scare Herod, and this is what sends, to jump back into the movie, they send Joseph and Mary packing. And so they decide to head south to Egypt. And luckily, because the donkey is so useless, the owner says, go ahead, take my donkey. I don't want that donkey anymore. You can use the donkey.
Why is there a whole ass zoo in the shed? Like a zebra and an ostrich are there too. Is that from Bible? I couldn't find that anywhere.
That's at the end, isn't it? That's not like...
No, I just mean like the shepherds come and they're playing their flutes all loud, and then the donkey and the bull are like there, and then it starts looking around and like a zebra walks by, and then an ostrich talks, and like...
Oh, that was the Magi brought them. And they tried to make that moment so glorious, but the animation is so shit that it's just like dun 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 dun, and they're just like little cartoons. Like it's just nothing good about it. The whole movie's beige. Like every single part of this movie is beige, by the way.
And the poster's not. Like the poster was like this glowing baby. This never happened in the movie.
No, they couldn't find the red when they made it. All they could find was yellow. And that's it. They make it down to Egypt, but they're still scared because Herod has eyes all over the place, and the Romans will do Herod's bidding.
Once we're in Egypt, is all made up. There's nothing. We're out of the Bible now.
Made up.
Fully like double fiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like extra fiction added to the fiction.
They picked the story of Jesus' birth. They had him born in 2 seconds, and then a bunch of scary stuff about Herod, I guess, to have conflict. Send him to Egypt and just make him ups. But so they go there, they're scared. So we just need that conflict, and we have the donkey doing everything he can with soldiers and the baby donkey to protect the little baby. But also there's a bunch of other people and this Jewish group that really like Joseph and the baby, and we're a little bit nervous that he might be a bad guy.
He's like sneaking around in a hood.
Yeah.
And the donkey's like, I gotta find out why he's doing that. And we don't really find out why he's sneaking around in the hood. It's just how he walks around at night.
Yeah, and it might have been that like he's part of a persecuted group of Hebrews that live in Egypt. But the
I
problem
wrote
is,
down here that this is the third out of 3 movies that I was like, yeah, this is kind of how I remember the story, like from my childhood church times. This is how I remember hearing the story. But then when I look at the Bible, it's like, this is not how the story is. It doesn't say this. This happened in Exodus with Moses. There's like, this is how I remember it kind of, but this isn't what it says. Then it happened with the rapture. It's like, yeah, this is how I was taught it. And then we look at the rapture, doesn't say all this stuff. It's different stuff. And now it's happening with the nativity.
Yeah, thank you. They're trying to make it interesting because there's nothing to it.
Can we talk a little bit about when they so the sneaky guy with the hood finally brings them into the like back room, and he's introducing these other people who are hiding there, and he's like, and this is Sarah. Did you notice Sarah?
Is she the one kneading the dough?
Oh yeah. And she needed that dough.
Make yourselves at home. You are in no danger here. These are friends and relatives. We are preparing for Passover in secret. This is Sarah, who is making an excellent cake for us.
Her giant ass is.
It's up. It's. I was like, this movie's just winning me over.
Need some of this dough?
Need your dough.
Yeah, she makes us a lot of desserts. Oh yeah, I can make you some sweet
It
desserts.
was like honestly hot. She looked great.
Yeah. I like my donuts cream filled. You know, she's filthy.
She did say that. I forgot. It was very dirty.
Now we got like 40 minutes in. By the way, this is before that moment. We got 40 minutes in, and I noted like the copy there was like 47 minutes. I was like, how is this gonna end? Like nothing had happened.
It's still playing.
It's still going. Nothing.
Jesus lives is the point I'm trying to make, Joel. He's still within our hearts.
Hilarious. Oh yeah, that's true.
No, it really is. So like this glowing blank angel comes back and is like, Joseph, King Herod died. You can go. And they go, okay. And then they go.
There is a scene before we get there where they give this weird commentary on Judaism. And it's kind of like a vegetarian propagandist.
You guys are so fucking done. You're done. This is the new shit.
Yeah, they're just like they eat meat. What here? I'll play it.
Yeah. Oh, so these are the animals talking.
The animals are having a conversation.
There's like they do some weird parallels where the animals are like the Christians of the future, kind of.
Oh, there's something worse than crocodiles.
What's that?
Humans. They eat meat almost every week.
And at Passover.
What are you talking about? It isn't a donkey that the humans sacrifice at Passover. It's a lamb, you fool, or even a goat. I know a bit about it.
I like the voices. I really do.
I know a bit about it.
By the way, dogs eat meat.
Oh, can you believe they do those stupid sacrifices at the Passover?
And the Passover.
That was a duck. Man, the Passover. They have to run and save young donkey, and they do it by old donkey.
That's a great rap name.
Young donkey. Old donkey goes to save the young donkey with the dog. Everyone's there. And they kick this building apart until it falls on the old donkey like he's Samson or something and crush him. And you think he's dead, but he's just like, oh, I'm so sore.
Whenever this angel shows up, no one cares that much. Like,
What's the matter? Oh. Are you the bearer of more bad news?
No. Take comfort. I am here to tell you that the evil King Herod is dead. You can return to Galilee.
That is good news.
comes down, and Joseph's just like, oh.
Yeah.
He says, oh. The line in the script is, oh. That an angel fucking apparated into his space. Oh.
You again.
I have come to tell you that the evil King Herod is dead. And Jess was like, okay.
I thought you were gonna say someone else is gonna fuck my wife.
I have come to tell you that the holy angels shall run a gangbang train run upon thine wife now.
Fuck.
Yeah,
okay.
sure. Why the I mean, whatever.
Yeah. We are going to frost her tits.
So the movie pans away from this scene, that scene did happen. That's a direct scene, and they're panning away from it because they're like, "This is for kids. The frosted tit stuff we should leave out.
We shouldn't have all this."
And
in there.
then it goes over to the donkey with all these other animals. There's a whole bunch of other
so
animals.
many. By the way, the animals seem to multiply.
Yeah, all the animals from the whole
scene,
movie that have been building up, they're all
the
here.
previous scene with the vegetarian thing, it was 5 animals. Now it's 20.
Yeah.
They've put every animal just watching the donkey die. They're all there to see donkey go.
I don't have the energy to go with him. You must go in my place.
Me? But I do stupid things.
If you're going to take my place, then you have to know everything that I've learned about this child by listening to the master and the mistress. They said one thing, which is of the greatest importance. They said that on earth, love is far more important than anything else.
No one said this.
This is how religions start. One person says, I heard that they said this, and they're making it up, but they're blaming it on the parents of God have said this. And he just made it up. But now the baby donkey is going to go start a donkey cult.
There's no reason to think that he's bringing love to this world. There's no, that has not
Kings
been
are
mentioned.
famously terrible.
Yeah, there's no evidence.
Great.
Yeah, all this is you guys already know this story, right? You guys know what the significance of this character is?
What is the Bible?
You guys, this is Bible. Do you remember?
got it.
You know Bible. Okay.
Got
so
it.
you guys will love this. If you love Bible, you'll love this.
We seem to prefer to fight each other all the time, to the nail. And this child has come to warm our hearts again to the love which we should never have let go of. And now, goodbye, little one, and take good care of them.
Where did this come from?
It's just they knew that okay, we're running out of steam. There's nothing else to have in this movie. We have to do some big finale. And this is it seems like they brought in we need a second script writer. This movie sucks, but we've already finished it. We just need
Royer fucked us. Yeah. Royer screwed us on this fucking book. Have you read the book? It's vapid. There's nothing in this fucking book.
And they hired some secondary script writer who was I'll handle this, and just brought out his thesaurus.
Okay, so we've got the characters. Everyone runs. Okay, what about
this is the Son of God talking, right? No, it's a donkey. I'll work with it. I'm gonna work.
There needs to be more love in the world.
That's
in
good.
The movie, we hadn't mentioned that at all. Shut up. Shut up. Let him. He's working.
He'll have overheard it. I overheard it. There's more love. This baby will bring us peace on earth. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah, we haven't heard the song yet because this is before the Jesus stuff. Shut up. He's working.
He's working.
He's a professional.
This is going to be amazing.
Look, do you want to get into the rating?
I'll do this for you. I'll go first because I learned while researching this that the number of wise men being 3 or Magi being 3 was not correct. So I'm wondering, how many wise men do you give this? And let's say it's out of 1 out of 12. How many Magi? 1 to 12.
1 out of 12. So if there were 12,
let's do. Why would I do 12? Let's do 5.
1 out of 5. Okay. The only good thing about this movie was the general concept of it. Everything else was crap. They failed on every single level in every single way across the board. So I would have to give it 1 wise man out of 5. I can't give it any more than just the 1. And I'll ask you, just based on this clip.
What's all this about a massacre in Judea? Hundreds of children were put to death. Huh? And all for nothing.
So let's say out of 300 dead babies, I'll give you out of 300
And
dead babies.
just to be clear, in your view here, the dead babies are good, right? The more, the better.
Yeah, more dead babies, the better the movie. So
that's your ranking.
the more dead babies, the better. How many dead Herod babies do you give this atrocious film?
When I'm able to remove the Bible from this and my previous knowledge of it, I wouldn't show this to my kids. I think they would hate it. As a kids movie, no. My kids would give this no dead babies at all. But
Man, those kids are hard critics.
I would give it probably 75 out of 300. I found some I enjoyable stuff in it, and I found myself just kind of listening to it and being yeah, this is something that's happening. I was watching the background. I feel if I had to sit and watch all 45 minutes of it at once, or however 50 minutes, I would be so bored of it.
This is not a fair. Okay, I sat and watched. I spent.
You don't have to. You can do it however you want.
Well, there's
crazy. Not a rule.
That's crazy. And you put it on the background. Yeah, let me read about the
It's not that good of a rating. I still gave it a bad rating.
75 out of 300 dead babies.
How many?
That's amazing for this
Joel,
movie.
you're telling me I should have more dead babies? What do you
Less
want from me?
dead baby. There's 25 dead babies.
I don't understand this rating system at all.
All right, well, folks, thanks for being here with us for Bad Bible Movies, Episode 3. Again, don't watch the movie. Mezzo, you would say nobody should watch this movie, correct?
No, absolutely do not watch the movie. It's not worth your time.
They should delete it off of YouTube.
Let's not ever mention it. Let's not even put this podcast out.
Yeah, I wish we never did this. I wish I never watched it.
I wish I never met you. Yes! We did it at the same time.
This is one of the most triumphant theme songs around.